Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. So we're going to use the Anastasia Beverly Hills Brow Duo in soft brown and fill in any sparse areas of the eyebrow. And then I'm going to use the Maybelline Fit Me Concealer to define underneath the eyebrow and also pull it down onto the eyelids as an eyeshadow base. This is just going to help our eyeshadows last longer throughout the day and also prevent any creasing and also cover up any discoloration on the eyelids. I just used the same concealer brush to apply it onto the eyelids and then blended it into the skin using a concealer buffer brush. Using the Kat Von D Shade and Light eye palette, I'm going to pick up that light brown shade, and this actually blends out to be more of a cool tone brown shade. I'm just going to focus that in the crease area and also the outer V area as a transition shade, and then I'm going to pick up the shade right next to that one. I will leave all the names of the shadows down below because I cannot pronounce them for the life of me, and I'm just pretty much running that color straight into the crease and also the outer V as well on that same brush. Picking up the black shade out of the same palette, I'm really going to focus this on the corner of the eye, so the outer V of the eye. I'm using more of a tapered brush, so I can really control where I place the color and where I actually blend the color out to be, because, well, we know that black can get a little bit scary sometimes. But yeah, anyway, moving on, we are jumping straight in to cut that crease, and we're using the Maybelline Fit Me Concealer again and just placing that on the inner half of the eye. For eyeshadow, I'm using the Becca Cosmetics Champagne Pop Highlighter, and I'm just using a flat eyeshadow brush to really pack it onto the lid. And then I actually switch up brushes, and we're going to go back to the brush that we just used to apply the black, and I'm just blending out any harsh edges so everything is just nice and seamless and everything blends. And then I just dip back into the black out of the palette to deepen up that outer corner and just switch up brushes to blend out any harsh lines. To create the wing, I used the Maybelline gel liner in Blackest Black and just did a wing to suit her eye shape. Now, I literally just sped all this part up. I didn't cut anything out because I kind of wanted to show you guys what I do when I create a wing on a client. And then I just went ahead and applied some mascara to the top lashes in preparation for some falsies. And the ones that I'm using today is by Model Rock. They are double layered, and I'm pretty sure they're called Urban Attraction, but I will list it down below anyway. Moving on to the face. To cleanse, I used the Garnier Micellar Water. This is going to remove any yuckies off the skin before we apply the makeup, which is definitely necessary. And then I'm going to go in with the Strobe Cream by MAC Cosmetics and apply this all over the face. I love this stuff. It's really hydrating, and yeah, I just love it. Can't live without it. I'm obsessed with it. Anyway, moving on. I'm still buffing that into the skin like a good girl. Jokes! I'm feeling a little bit nutty today. So yeah, anyway, what are we doing now? We are doing some Fix Plus. We're doing some Fix Plus. I spritzed the face with some Fix Plus. That's a bit better. And then for foundation, I use the Studio Fix Fluid in NC37, which is pretty much your standard fake tan color. You always want to match your face to your body, not your face to your face, if that makes sense. To conceal and also to highlight, I'm using the same concealer, which was the Maybelline Fit Me Concealer. I'm just placing that down the center of her face and also underneath her eye area using a concealer brush. And then I just go in with my damp beauty blender and blend all that concealer out. I like to press my concealer into the skin, so that's why I'm like obsessed with the beauty blender. It just makes everything nice and flawless, and it's just the best ever. So if you don't have one, I highly recommend that you get one because you will not regret it. Okay, so moving on, we are going to set that down using the banana powder out of the NYX highlighting and contouring palette, which is pretty snazzy. I actually really like this palette. It's really good coverage. It lasts long and it blends easy as well. To set down the rest of the face, I use the Australis Fresh and Flawless Pressed Powder in Darkest Brown, and like I said, just press that into the rest of the face. It's pretty self-explanatory. And then to contour, I use the Hoola Bronzer by Benefit. I actually use the darker one because there's two different shades, like the light one and the dark one. I filmed the light one, but I actually used the darker one because she obviously had a fake tan on and she was deeper in the skin tone. So yeah, I love this stuff. It's so good. Blends so easy. It doesn't go ashy if you use a light hand, and yeah, I'm just obsessed with it. So I pretty much just ran that down her cheekbones, her jawline, her forehead, her forehead, and also down the side of the nose. I actually switched up brushes to a little tiny eyeshadow brush to contour the nose. To bronze the skin, I used the Too Faced Chocolate Soleil, I think it's called, in the shade Deep Tan, and just ran that down her jawline, her cheekbones, and also just on her forehead and down the center of her face, just to add a little bit more of an orangey kind of browny warmy tone. And then for blush, I used Makeup Geek's blush in Spellbound, which is like the perfect color. I use it on so many different people. And then I just cleaned up the contour underneath her cheekbones using the banana powder out of the same NYX highlighting and contour palette that we used to set the concealer underneath the eye area. And then we're just going to pick up Champagne Pop again by Becca, which is what we used on the eyes. And I'm also running that down the tops of her cheekbones, and also down the center of her face for a beautiful highlight. I have tried to keep as much blending in this video as possible, just so you guys kind of have an idea of like what it actually takes to like do makeup, I guess. Yeah, so in YouTube videos we tend to cut out a lot because, well, you don't want a YouTube video going for an hour. So yeah, that's what's up in this video. But we are dipping back into that Kat Von D Shade of Light eye palette, and we are picking up that first shade that we used in the transition, which was that light cool tone brown, and I'm just going to smudge that from the outer corner to the inner corner of the lower lash line. And then I'm just using some translucent powder to place underneath the eye to catch any fallout, because we don't want to wreck that base. But yeah, we're just picking up the black shade again from that same palette, and I'm going to smudge this into the lower lash line as close as I can to the lash line, so it's nice and like smoky and sultry with no gaps of white shining through. And then I kind of flick it out on the outer corner and switch up brushes to kind of make that little flick underneath. I don't know, it's so hard trying to explain this. And then I just used a little bit of concealer to clean it up, and then used the NYX white eye pencil and just filled in that little bit in between there. You guys can kind of see better than me explaining what I'm trying to explain. Then I just used Pearl from Becca Cosmetics, which is another highlighter, and I just placed that into the corners of her eyes for a extra highlight, and then just dusted off the under eye area from the powder and applied some mascara to the lower lashes. I haven't done a voiceover in like 2 months, so I'm a bit all over the shop, so I apologize for that. Also just placing some gel liner, which was the Maybelline gel liner in the waterline. Now moving on to the lips, we are going to pick up Myth by MAC Cosmetics, which is one of the lightest lipsticks from their range, I'm pretty sure. I'm just placing that all over the lips, and then we are going to darken up the lip line using Soar by MAC, and this is about 1 or 2 shades darker than the lipstick. This is just going to give the illusion the lips are a lot bigger. And then we're just going to finish that off using the MAC Fix Plus. So here we have the completed look. I hope you guys really enjoyed watching this video. Please give it a thumbs up if you did, so I know to keep making them. Also, don't forget to check the description box down below if you guys are wanting to find out any of the brushes or the makeup that I use. I will list that all down below there. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel to not miss out on any more of my videos.